Well, one of the miracles of any great artistic work is that they are timeless. As Paul Valéry, the poet, writes, an artist is worth 1,000 centuries. It is a fact that greatness is measured by this timelessness. Today we enjoy a cave painting of 25,000 years just as much as a painting of today. It's the miracle of art that it conveys the presence of the maker and the presence of human consciousness, brings it right here, forces us to live a more dignified life than we could without the presence of art. For me, I very much believe that what Dostoevsky said, beauty will save the world. I would say art will eventually save the world. That is possibly the only trustworthy area of human culture in today's mad world.
Architecture is an art, but it is not the same kind of art that painting and sculpture might be, for example. It's a public art or a social art. It requires, first of all, the support of an enormous number of people to produce buildings, both in the architect's office. After all, most buildings are not done Ayn Rand, Fountainhead style, one lonely architect sitting drawing away. It requires many collaborative professionals. It requires money, which we can sum up as the client, and it requires the public support, usually, so that buildings can be built within the larger constraints. And it requires, finally, that the public, in the largest sense, support the buildings. Otherwise, why build them? You can't just build them for your own personal pleasure. You can if you're Philip Johnson, you build a house out in the country in New Canaan, then you do your own thing. When does it? It almost always be thought of as a work of art, but a social work of social art. There are all kinds of art, as I suggest. If you just make buildings that solve problems, well, that's not irresponsible. That's perfectly responsible. But I think for myself and for many other architects and people probably in architecture you might be talking to in a series like this, their aspirations are to have their buildings taken seriously on another level. But I do find that in the current scene, too much emphasis is being placed on artistic expression, independent, in my view, often of good urbanism or even functional response or tectonic responsibility.